If you're looking to build up your emergency kit or just gather additional supplies and you want to save some money, Harbor Freight, that's the place to go. This is the Urban Sentinel, and let's get into it. Now, in no particular order, I'm just going to sort of hit them up as I come into the areas, certain items that you as preppers may want to have if you don't have them already, or you may want to get more of. So first off, some personal protection equipment. Gloves, they've got different types, the neoprene with rubber on them. They've got some of these leather ones here, especially if you're doing heavy duty yard work, clearing debris, that sort of thing. These rubberized ones that can be good, especially in working with cold items in the freezer or in the wintertime. Lightweight duty gloves, and of course, the nitrile gloves. Now I will say this, if you have small to extra small, you're probably not going to find them here. They tend to stock what they sell the most of, so medium, large, extra large tends to be that for the nitrile gloves. And then of course you've got eye protection, so you've got glasses, goggles, face shields, and then you can move into the areas of personal protection, disposable masks for anything from just general cleanup, dust work, as well as actual small half face mask respirators that you might need, knee pads, hearing protection as well. And you're coming down the line, you've got everything from general lumbar support if you're actually doing a lot of heavy lifting, safety vests, reflective safety vests here if you're doing any type of hazardous work outside as well. Now the primary purpose with basically the eyes and ears and protection for your hands is if you're doing any type of work, you don't need injuries happening like that. So that little bit of protection, gloves in your backpack, in the trunk of your vehicle, things like that on standby. So in case you have to do something, you'll be able to put that protection on, and that ensures that you have at least one less problem to deal with later on. If you have organizational issues, getting these different types of small tool, small item organizers can work. And it's not just for tools or parts and things like that. You can use that for many different things that you might have in your preps. You can use these to actually form first aid kits. So you have your different types of first aid equipment that you may want to put into these different size containers to keep those organized. You might use that for different types of gardening seeds that you have set up or other things like that. And of course, much larger containers that you can utilize as well. They even sell these larger heavy-duty Apache cases that are very similar to the Pelican brand case, but at a much lower price and serve the same purpose and function. And a lot of what Harbor Freight has is more affordable. Is it the name brand models? No, not always. A lot of it is, off-brand and it's lower cost, but sometimes trying to save the money, this is the best thing that you can do. Tarps, covering up anything from a hole in your roof because a tree fell through it, to covering over supplies that you have stored up in the pickup bed of your pickup truck. Always good to have those. And of course, tie-down straps for securing cargo, tow cables, utility chains, come-along hooks, various things that you might need for your automobile to either help get your vehicle out of a ditch or pull someone else out of a ditch, or even accessories for a trailer. You might want to load up emergency supplies and get onto your trailer and use that. Something as simple as tire pressure gauges and tire repair kits as well. You should definitely always have one of these in your vehicle no matter what, because you don't know when you can break down and have an issue, and that may be the best thing that you have, is to quickly repair it. And of course, if you have a tire inflator with you in the vehicle, that makes it so much easier to then get yourself back on the road and running again. Now, tools are definitely what they are known for, and you can get numerous types of packs and kits. And of course, here you've got 130 piece, 225 piece, 301 piece mechanic sets. And honestly, for the cost that you're spending, yes, you can go out and buy some bigger brand, bigger name, but depending upon what you need it for, this may serve its purpose. I have dozens of oddball tools that I needed for a specific job one time versus certain tools that I use all the time, regularly speaking. So you really have to simply gauge that sometimes you don't necessarily have to spend $300 on a toolkit to have tools that you might only use once or twice. And we've got solar panel kits, along with a battery, charge controller, and charge regulator and connectors. So this way, if you're going to do an off-the-grid emergency setup, you can have the option of utilizing solar panels, setting it all up. That gives you alternate power issues. This way you can charge up items, keep certain things running, especially if fuel is not available. Here we've got some solar power lights, which I find these are good, especially if you use them in a setup similar to what I have, where I've taken the light and I've attached Velcro to the back of it and secure that to the siding. So this way I can, one, remove it if I need to for security purposes, but also if you keep a few of these on hand, have them charged up and you lose power, you can use these as interior motion lights, put them into rooms so when you walk in, the light comes on and you can see inside the room. You don't necessarily have to worry about having to have a backup generator for lighting. Now, these moving blankets are useful for two primary reasons, aside from keeping things from getting scratched up and banged up when you're moving. They can definitely be used as room insulators, placing them over windows, over doorways, especially exterior doors, place them on the inside to help cut back on drafts that you may have, and as well as literally extra layers of insulation, especially in the winter time, where you can double up, triple up on your bedding, because you're looking at $8.99 for a 72 by 80-inch blanket. Try getting that in a comforter or a quilt for the same amount of money. You're not going to find it. So sometimes it's also a matter of using certain items not dissimilar for their purpose, but a little bit outside of that box under normal conditions. More utility lighting. A lot of these are battery operated, but they're LED lights and they provide a lot more illumination. And many of them will have USB-A or C connectors. That way you can charge them up and recharge the battery for use. A lot of the smaller handheld ones, again, these would be items that would be good to have in an everyday carry kit or an emergency pack as well. And you move into some of the other outdoor lighting implements that you can have and utilize around your house. Even something as decorative like these little solar strip lights, which are mostly for outside. You could still use something like this with the panel to illuminate an entire interior area of a hallway, basement area, what have you, and the panel sits outside to charge up. So yeah, definitely thinking creatively. You can find a lot of things here in Harbor Freight that are affordable and that are useful for the purposes that you need. Now, Harbor Freight has their Predator brand of generators, 13,000, 9,000, 6,500, various sizes, inverters, small ones, large whole house ones, depending upon what you're looking for. Having a backup generator, even though it may be fossil fuel using gasoline, is still a decent alternative to be able to use to keep your place running and keep things going as long as possible. So is it possible to find everything you need for your prepping needs at Harbor Freight? No, they don't sell firearms and they don't sell food, but you can find a lot of things at Harbor Freight for a much lower price, saving you money, letting you be able to reinvest that extra savings into some of those other things that you may need. Anyway, check out these next videos coming up, and I'll catch you in the next one.